Good afternoon. Welcome to Semper Fi. I'm your host, Staff Sergeant B. Before we get started, I'd like to just cover a couple of things that happened this time in August 19th. On August 19th, in 1919, the Marine Corps was registered with the Marine Hymn for the copyrights. And in 1944, the elements of the Third Army reached the San River, and there was heavy fighting between the Falins and the Argentinians. 1950, in the Navy, the USS Missouri, the only active battleship in the Navy fleet at that time, departed Norfolk, Virginia for Korea, arriving on September 15th. And just general information, in 2003, in Baghdad, a car bomb exploded in front of the hotel housing in the UN headquarters, collapsing the front of the building. And didn't get into details of how many casualties there were. So that's what happened at this day of August 19th, and I know there's probably a lot more, but I just touch on the highlights. So today, my next guest is James Hans. I hope I said that right. Arntz. Sorry about that.
No problem.
Retired Army. So without further ado, on to my guest.
Thank you, Mark. Appreciate it. I understand this is my time to talk about my career. I had a great time in the Army. I enjoyed it very much. I graduated from high school in Edmore, Michigan in 1976. I talked to my family the couple years prior to graduating. I told them that my plans were to join the Army, and they really didn't want me to. Mom and Dad took the birth certificate and locked it up. Caused a few problems or setbacks for me to join, but in the long run, when I went down to the recruiting office and talked to the recruiter says, "Are you 18?" And I said, "Yes, sir." He says, "Don't call me a sir, I'm a sergeant." And he says, "You want to join?" Yeah. "Yes, sir." "Don't call me a sir, I'm a sergeant." So he went ahead and got me my birth certificate and my Social Security card. And I provided my high school diploma for him. Took the test, went to MEPS, took the physical, and joined.
And where'd you go to boot camp at?
I went to boot camp at Fort Jackson, South Carolina. And the two things I wanted to do, or actually three things I wanted to do. I wanted to be in the infantry, I wanted to go airborne, and I wanted to go to Hawaii. Well, I got one object.
Hawaii?
No, infantry.
I think we all got that path.
I could have went to Hawaii, but I couldn't be in the infantry, so I took infantry, and then I'd go ahead and try to apply for Hawaii later. I never made it to Hawaii other than on vacation one time. But all in all, went to Fort Jackson, South Carolina, 8 weeks, boot camp. I left home on the 29th of December 1976. My birthday is in February. I turned 19 on the grenade range at Fort Jackson in the mud, and I had fried chicken, mashed potatoes, gravy, green beans, and chocolate cake for my birthday. Couldn't ask for a better birthday.
So obviously the way your parents were, you didn't come from a military background.
I did. Most all of my uncles, matter of fact, every one of my uncles were in, except for one on my mom's side. My dad was in the National Guard, but because of the fact that his Jeep went over a cliff during a training accident and he ended up having surgery on his knee, he didn't think the military was good. He thought that I should stay home and take care of the family. And then again, it was because it was a big family. There was 4 brothers and 5 sisters, wow. 10 of us kids, and their plan was for everybody to stay home and work on the farm. And my plan was to join the military.
So where'd you wind up going you first? So after graduation, kind of like what we do,
After graduation for boot camp, then I went to Fort Benning, Georgia. That was infantry school. Okay. Spent 8 weeks there for infantry school, learned how to be a real soldier.
To further get into more depth of land navigation,
land reading. Navigation, weapons, patrols, learning how to navigate at night.
Right.
DNC, drill-in ceremony. You'll never run out of drill-in ceremony.
There's always somebody walking out.
Somebody walking out. After that, I went to Germany.
Where in Germany were you at?
The first time I was in Neu-Ulm, sort of the southern part of the central state. So if you divided the country up into three portions, the center portion and towards the lower portion of the center, that would be roughly where Neu-Ulm was. As a light infantry unit there, we were 2nd, 4th Infantry was the most highly mobile unit there was there. So our job was to react to anything that comes up.
Okay.
As a secondary job, basically, our primary job was to provide security for different hard sites that we were supposed to provide security with.
Okay, when you say light unit, a lot of people don't understand what the term light infantry unit is. Can you elaborate what a light unit means?
We were foot soldiers that were transported by either deuce and a half or helicopters.
Right, didn't have
depending
old,
on
big
what the mission
artilleries
was.
and guns.
Yes. Light weapons, no artillery. The artillery, the Yardies were in another concern,
the rear with the
right,
gear.
right. There you go.
So what was your major one? You came in as a grunt infantry. So what was your major weapon that you carried? I came in as a machine gunner.
I spent a little bit of time on the 60. I spent time on the 90 millimeter recoilless rifle, which is now obsolete.
Yeah.
It's been obsolete quite a few years.
Just like the Colt 45.
There you go. And the M1911, the Colt 45 was my sidearm. So with a 90 millimeter recoilless rifle, my job was to take out any type of a tank or abutment that we come up on.
Now, how heavy was that you had to carry?
The rounds weighed about 15 pounds apiece. The weapon itself was about 45 pounds. So you put on your flak vest, you put on your protective mask on your hip, put on your sidearm, you put on your backpack, you put on your weapon, you were loaded down quite heavy.
Yeah. And then we take nice little walks.
Then we took nice little walks. And in Germany, if you have ever been there, you will know that there's no level ground.
Never got stationed in Germany.
It's all uphills, and if it isn't uphill, it's downhill. And it's not nice country to walk through. But it was fun. Kept us in shape.
And how long were you in Germany for?
My first tour over there, I was there for 37 months.
Really? Wow.
Yes. I was married the first time over there. Both my sons were born in Germany, in Augsburg. I actually loved it very much over there. Had lots of fun.
Was your initial tour a year or 6 months when you first? I know once you get in the country, you are allowed to extend.
Normally, it's 24 months.
It's 24 months
It's
right
24
off the gate?
months right off the bat.
Wow.
However, seeing how I got married when I was there, I asked for what's called I forgot the word, but it's